Yes, sir. Good morning.
Great, thank you. Got a few people lined up to ask some questions here, so we'll go ahead and kick things off with Lane Higgins. Lane?
Hey there. I know that you weren't necessarily around on that 2018 team that lost to Alabama in the championship, but I'm curious, does it seem like they sort of have your number and that every time Georgia goes up against them, and no matter if you guys are leading into half, that there's still just this team that you can't quite overcome? Like, does it seem like that's kind of, everyone else, not everyone else, but a few other teams that have won championships like LSU and Clemson have been able to get one over on Alabama. Does it feel like, Georgia has just not been able to measure up to that?
Well, this team haven't played Alabama in a national championship before, other than like the 2018 team. But just being able to get this opportunity to go play a national championship at the biggest stage for all our careers, when we're playing one of the biggest games of our lives, it's awesome. Just being able to go against a fantastic team like Alabama at a big stage like this, can't take this opportunity for granted. So just got to go out there and play our best game.
All right, next we'll hear from Chip Towers. Chip?
Yeah, Kearis, kind of on that note, as an elite athlete, all you guys are, both sides, both sidelines. How do you handle that, moments like this? Bright lights, cameras flying around, cameras in your face everywhere you turn around, and focus on playing as well as you can. Do you get anxious? Is there a routine that you have that helps you deal with all the expectations and pressure?
Yeah, you got to trust your technique and just tunnel vision throughout the whole way. We made it this far. There's been all type of cameras and things on the sideline for every game, but this game just you playing for something that's bigger, and that's national championship. But just can't let that lose our focus, and just keep our tunnel vision the whole way through what got us here.
Next will be Lance McCurley. Lance? I think we have lost Lance. Let's go to Anthony Dasher. Anthony?
Hey, Kearis, good to see you. Describe the energy it's given the rest of the wide receiver room to have George Pickens back, and kind of what did you think of his pancake block he had against Michigan?
Oh, yeah. George brings a lot of energy to the team and to the receiver room. And the block he put up against Michigan, it was kind of funny because I didn't notice it until I seen the video going around. He does it all the time. Did it last year, did it the year before that. That's just been how the way George plays, very physical, and just love to do things to go viral, I guess.
Next will be Mark Schleybaugh. Mark? Mark, you there?
Kearis, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Sorry. Being a guy from Georgia, what would it mean to be part of the team that ended the 41-year drought for you personally?
It means a lot to me, especially growing up in South Georgia, Fort Valley, Georgia. It's a lot of Bulldog fans down that way. And just ever since I've been going to school here, when I committed here, the whole community just been showing love, even in Athens as well, just being able to know that all they want before everyone, all they say is all they want is Georgia championship. So with me knowing that and what my team is knowing it as well, like not only we fight for each other, but we fight for the ones in our community as well, because they're Georgia fans just like how we are, and just in order for them to get a championship, we got to go out there and do our job so we get one as well. So it's going to be major for us to go win one.
Okay, let's try Lance McCurley again. Lance?
Hey, there we go. Sorry, my option went away. Hey, Kearis, how important is it to have guys like Ladd and Brock and, some of these other guys who have helped that, especially when you guys have dealt with a lot of injuries at the receiver position this year?
Those guys have been able to step up tremendously. Like you said, we had guys down early in the season. Those guys stepped up, next play up mentality, and just they was prepared for the moments. We practice hard every day, every game, every practice is like a game. So they prepare mentally and physically as well as the things that we do. Coach Smart put us through in practice. I mean, we be well prepared for the game.
Next will be Steve Croner. Steve.
Kearis, was wondering, at what point in the season did you realize, maybe even before the season, that Brock Bowers would have as big an impact on your offense as he has? And is there one specific play, either in practice or in the game, that really stands out to you about his play this season?
I knew Brock Bowers was going to be a playmaker back in the fall camp. I mean, he was out there making plays. I mean, he reminded me of Travis Kelce, how the way he was just making plays, you know, like just having a tight end like him has been a huge tradition to the team. And just that play versus Bama in the SEC championship game, he had caught the ball, broke like 3-4 tackles and ended up scoring. I was like, yeah, he a dog. But he's been certified in my book, and just the way he plays is he's a dog. That's all you can really say.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Next will be Dennis Dodd. Dennis. Dennis Dodd. Next.
There you go. You need to unmute me.
Oh, you left again.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, Dennis, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, you didn't unmute me. Yeah, Kearis, real quick, could you describe briefly the walk-on culture at Georgia? Do they dress in a different place, stuff like that before practice? And what kind of confidence does it take from a guy like Stetson Bennett you weren't there, but to step on campus and believe, I can be the starting quarterback at Georgia?
I don't know where you get the dressing part from, because we all a team here. We all dress in the same locker room. We all treat each other the same. I mean, one has a scholarship, one doesn't have one, but we don't look at that as a
here on the call. We'll kick
makes
things
anyone
off. This is
bigger.
linebacker Nolan Smith,
Stetson,
University of Georgia.
came in as a walk-on, came back, was on scholarship. I mean, he worked his way up. I mean, he didn't listen to everyone who was down to him. He just kept his head down and kept pushing and kept chopping. I mean, everyone has the ability to make plays, and just it's all about the opportunity you're given. He made every opportunity the best.
Thank you.
Next will be Steve Hummer. Steve.
There we go. Hey, Kearis, a couple of historical type questions. I'm wondering, as a Georgia receiver, for example, how tuned in are you to the legend of Lindsey Scott?
We're just proud of what's going on, and just as a receiver, we just have to see what's going on, and that's just the most important thing for us, to just focus on what's going on.
Well, as a member, he was a member of the 1980 team, and how much does that team get brought up to you guys even now?
It gets brought up pretty often, just knowing that was the last national championship that was won at Georgia, which has been like 41 years from now, and just knowing that that's the goal, is just to win a championship here, and just hearing those names and things like that going on just kind of motivates us that, I mean, we have the team to do it, and like it's the year now with the opportunities right here in front of us. January 10th, we have to go make a statement so we could be the next ones that people are going to be talking about, the 2021 team.
Thanks.
Next will be Andrea Adelson.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hi, Kearis. Thank you for doing this. I think you were an early enrollee in 2018. So I'm not sure if you were there while the team was practicing for the national championship game. But if you were, what do you remember about that time? And then what do you remember about watching the game and maybe some of the disappointment in the result?
Yeah, I was here when I was practicing for the national championship, and just being a part of the team just for that short amount of period, like for a whole week. I mean, I feel like I was a part of the team, I feel like I was getting ready to go play, but that wasn't the story. But just knowing the work that those guys put in that week, I was a scout team member, so I just felt like I was just trying to get my best look, just try to push myself to, and I'm going against one of the top defenses in the country, and just knowing that they was getting ready to go play a national championship game made me feel a part of the team as well. But I mean, just going back home after I was practicing, just being able to watch the game on TV kind of fueled myself that, man, like, in the next few months, I'm about to be in those same colors with those same guys that can be playing for something that's bigger than I ever expected, like, which is a national championship. And today has finally presented itself that I'll be playing my first national championship. So it's been like a dream come true and a journey as well.
Thank you.
Next will be Michael Casagrande. Michael?
What kind of competitor is Kirby Smart? And do you have any memories, any stories about him in practice that kind of shows his competitive side?
I'm pretty sure you can see his competitive side on the sideline every time they flip the camera on him during the game and stuff. Like, he's always hyped up. I mean, he got a competitive mindset. I mean, that's what I like playing for Coach Smart. I mean, he's always been a competitor. I mean, he lets us compete in practice as well by letting us go good on good, just showing us what we got and what we're capable of doing. I mean, when you do that with competitor versus competitor, I mean, all you're doing is sharpening iron. And that's what Coach Smart preaches every day, compete.
Next will be Mike Griffith. Mike?
Hey, Kearis, talk a little bit about your journey. I mean, I guess we've seen you go through just about everything too, tailback reps, hamstring, wrist injury, go-to guy, 9 catches, 147 yards, return guy, and now a blocking receiver playing a smaller role maybe with the ball in your hands. Talk about that perseverance and how have you maintained such consistency going through all those different things in your career?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much said that started when I was a child. I know my mom was always hard on me, things like that. Everything is not going to go your way. And once you hit adversity, you just got to know how to respond with it. And my mom always just taught me to just keep your head down. Don't let one injury or one bad downfall define who you is as a person. And like knowing my role is a little bit smaller this year, I still take it as like I'm a major key part of this team because I am. And just knowing what I'm doing for this team, I'm playing my role, just being there for my teammates. That's the best thing I could do right now, and I'm enjoying it. And so far as us to playing a national championship, so it's just not what I can do as a person, but what can we do as a team.
Next will be Connor Riley. Connor?
Yeah, hey, Kearis. Earlier on, you mentioned, practice being tougher than games. When did you sort of first realize that was the case at Georgia, and how do you make that adjustment to where you're practicing harder than you are playing in games?
Shoot, my first spring here, honestly. I mean, we had like 18-some peers. I was like, I'm not used to this, but at the same time, I'm not going to say I wasn't used to it. I was used to the volume of running we was doing. I mean, growing up at Peach County, going to Peach County High School, I mean, all our practice was physical. We could be playing on a Friday and be still tackling on Thursday. So I'm pretty much built for like the physical part, but just all the volume of like all the running and things like that, I had to, get in shape, get adjusted to like the way that Georgia practiced. And I mean, I just wasn't too far behind when I got here and things like that as far as terms of being physical, but I did have to like learn how to push myself a little bit harder, be able to sustain reps, sustain practice time, because everything gets a little bit longer and once you get in college and things like that. So it's just been like pretty much an adjusting way that I was prepared before I got to college as well.
Next will be Jake Rowe. Jake?
Kearis, can you take me back to the SEC championship game and your emotions once that game was over? How did you feel?
I was hurt, I was hurt. I mean, see, the SEC championship game is always around my birthday, and like for the past 3-4 years since I've been at Georgia, like that's all I wanted for my birthday was SEC championship win. And like obviously I haven't won anything yet, but it's always just a tough moment. I mean, of course I want to win it for myself, but I want to win it for my teammates as well. So just being able to lose those championship games really was hurtful. But now I'm just grateful and blessed that you see the thing behind me, 2020 National Championship. I'm able to play in something that's bigger than the SEC Championship.
All right. Thank you very much for your time today. We really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you in Indianapolis.